would talk about its infrastructure and other spending plans. A vote on the $1.2 trillion infrastructure measure was delayed last night because of disagreement between progressives and moderates over a larger social spending bill. Biden told reporters after the meeting that his agenda will get done.
It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter whether it's in 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks.
Thousands of federal transportation employees could be furloughed if the House does not restore highway funding or pass the infrastructure bill soon. A helicopter and a small plane have collided in midair over suburban Phoenix. 2 people in the chopper have been killed. More than 20 current and former employees of Blue Origin, the spaceflight company owned by Jeff Bezos, says it's a toxic and sexist place to work. The group says several top leaders at Blue Origin have been consistently inappropriate with women. The workers also say Blue Origin seemed more focused on beating Richard Branson and Elon Musk to space rather than follow proper safety protocols that would have slowed the schedule. DNA has cracked one of France's biggest unsolved criminal cases. An ex-police officer has been implicated in at least 6 rapes, including one of an 8-year-old girl in 1986, and 4 murders. The man killed himself this week. And Britain's Princess Beatrice has named her newborn daughter after the Queen. The baby's name is Sienna Elizabeth. She was born September 18th. She is Queen Elizabeth's 12th great-grandchild. Now let's check out a crash in Santa Clarita on the 14th.
Some good news, terrorists. Overturned car appears to have been cleared out of lanes on the northbound side coming up on a Newhall Pass, or make that Newhall Avenue. Traffic, it's still heavy as usual through that area, backing up from the 5 northbound, slowing down out of Silmar from the 405 merge, and slightly delayed on the 210 westbound, with delays getting away from Yarnell Street. Let's take a look at Anaheim Hills with Michael O'Brien, KFI in the Sky, sponsored by Injury Attorney, superwomansuperlawyer.com. Go ahead, Mike. So let's head out to Anaheim Hills while we're waiting for Mike. And it looks like that 91 eastbound, pretty jam-packed right now. In fact, delays are loading up all the way from the 5 freeway. You remain on the brakes ahead to Green River, more flowing from the 71. If you travel ahead to Pierce and Riverside, continued slowing and stretches all the way to Madison. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
This hour of the John and Ken Show is brought to you by AIS, Auto Insurance Specialist. Visit AISinsurance.com today.
Nice warm weekend. Details next.
Well, fall's officially here, which means stormy weather and cold temps for everyone not living in SoCal. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morocco. Number 5.
These are the roots to the weather. You get 3 hydration backpack and you earn 500 points on your rewards card before your 5th.
Number 4.
Get splashed with cash in the poker room. Every time a football team scores, we'll toss up to $100 cash in your table's pot.
3.
It's National Taco Day at Fiesta Taco. Tacos are $3 or less on the 4th.
And the number 2.
Monster Mash. Just earn 500 points on your rewards card, and you're guaranteed to win up to $100 in cash or free swap play.
And the number 1 reason.
Football, baseball, basketball. Have a ball watching all the ball games on big screens everywhere you eat, play, and stay.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Good times.
Amazon delivery service partners are hiring full-time delivery drivers to meet growing customer demands. Receive competitive compensation of at least $18.50 per hour at select stations, plus benefits and a sign-on bonus of $2,000 from participating DSPs if you apply now. No delivery experience required. Must be 21 years or older. Terms apply. Apply today at www.amazon.com/LA delivery driver. That's www.amazon.com/LA delivery driver.
KFI Financial Report brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow closed at 482 today. The S&P is up 49. NASDAQ up 118. And the price of gas in California is $4.40.
Bay Alarm will keep your commercial fire system in compliance so you're up to code, not up all night.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny today. Highs around 80 at the beaches. 91 in Metro LA and OC. Upper 80s and 90s in the valleys. Mid to high 90s in the IE and the AV. More sun tomorrow. Mid to upper 70s at the beaches. 91 again for Metro LA and OC. And it's looking like that throughout the weekend. Low to mid 90s in the valleys and the IE AV. Right now it is 90 in Yorba Linda, 87 in Carson, 88 in Irvine, and 80 in Huntington Beach. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Mark Ronner.
Johnny Kent Show. John Cobell and Ken Shampoo, KFI, AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You know, some of the worst damage that's done to people's lives is done quietly through regulations that nobody ever reads about. And, you know, most people don't particularly care about. Right. But, you know, in California, where we have an over-the-top government, which likes to assert itself in aspects of public life, but they believe for the overall public good, we don't know of any worse agency, really, than the California Air Resources Board, and we have talked about them incessantly over the last 15 years. Ever since Schwarzenegger, remember, and Fabian Nunez introduced that Global Warming Solutions Act, and they have destroyed thousands of jobs in California. It's why you're paying a lot for gas. It's a big part of the increase in why it's $1 or more a gallon. There have been a lot of tax increases, a lot of regulations on industry, drove out a lot of companies, a lot of people lost their jobs. It did not reduce greenhouse gases in any way. California is in the bottom 10 when it comes to reducing greenhouse gases. And whatever we do is completely overwhelmed by one fire. And we've had hundreds. So it's a waste of time. 2/3 of the greenhouse gas emissions come from China and India. There's nothing we can do. All we can do is destroy the jobs. Well, the California Resources Board decided they're going to destroy more jobs in more industries with amendments to the commercial harbor craft regulation industry. Yeah, and this is going to force into engine emission regulations that, if approved by CARB, is going to devastate these family-owned fishing and whale-watching boat operations. So if you've ever gone out in one of these, think about how CARB may kill that industry. If you like going sports fishing, you like going whale watching with the family, if this all passes, there might not be many boats left. And we're going to talk now with Frank Ursitti, owner of H&M Landing, the largest sport fishing landing company on the West Coast. And Frank, how are you?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, what is it that CARB is requiring you to do potentially?
Well, we're going to fall under proposed rulemaking for the commercial hovercraft regulation. Now, commercial hovercraft regulation covers a wide variety of vessels, from tugs to ferries, excursion boats, commercial fishing boats, and commercial passenger fishing boats. And as you led in with, we fall under that subset of commercial passenger fishing boats. These are the boats that take people out fishing anywhere for a few hours to up to 18 days offshore. Also, they engage in ecotourism like whale watching, and even quite a few of them in marine science education programs, field trip opportunities for schools, if you will. And some of our fleet, even in the off season, will take part in resource surveys to ensure sustainability of those very species that we target recreationally. CARB has put forth a set of guidelines that we simply cannot comply with. And when I say we can't comply with it, they're asking us to put machinery in our boats to meet emission standards. The only problem is that machinery doesn't exist. And we're forced to comply.
This is some date in the future. Are they assuming it's going to exist by then?
Well, I mean, I could only, you would only hope that that's what their rationale was, but the short timeline that they've got us on, I don't see how we can comply.
Wait. There's a deadline on installing new equipment that hasn't been invented yet.
Absolutely. Yes, you got it. It's really got us all. I mean, I've been in the industry for 40 years. The company that I own was founded in 1935. We're the most established sport fishing
Right.
company on the coast.
I think people
I've
need
never
to
been met with anything.
people need to understand this because your industry has put out a press release, and it said over 80% of commercial passenger boats will require boat owners to purchase new metal boats beginning in 2023 or go out of business as extensions expire.
Yeah, because most of the boats are made of wood and fiberglass, but they have to get these metal boats.
But there nothing is going to be available. You're just
That's
supposed
correct.
You're just supposed to destroy the boats, and there's no replacement.
That's correct. There's such flawed thinking that's going on with the rulemaking, and to try and digest it or condense it, there's only 174 of these boats from the northern border to the southern border.
Well,
that
then
are
how much
designated.
emissions could there be that makes any impact?
I'm telling you, I'm trying to hit all the high points, and you guys are answering it right away. It wouldn't even be measurable. The impact is negligible. And if you really want to try and wrap your head around that, not all those boats spend their time in regulated California waters. So the emissions that they are being assigned through CARB's study is erroneous and inaccurate. So it really is challenging what's going on. Yeah.
Not
It's
only
hard
did
to, I mean, what made them come after your industry? Was there somebody that brought this up and has become obsessed with coming after sports fishing and whale watching people, or what? How did this happen?
So the commercial hovercraft rule has been on the books since 2007, and it's set to wind up by 2023. We happen to be one of those subsets within commercial hovercraft. Now, remember I mentioned at the very beginning it covers tugs, workboats, ferries, excursion vessels, commercial fishing vessels, and commercial passenger fishing vessels. Commercial fishing vessels, those are the boats that go and catch fish and it goes right to market. CPFVs, or sport fishing boats, commercial passenger fishing vessels, we're licensed by the same agency. We register with the same agency. The commercial fishing vessel has a much easier path towards compliance. However, for this rulemaking, someone in CARB carved us out, carved out the sport fishing boats, and made them adhere to the stringent standards of some of these bigger, higher emitting vessels like tugs, ferries,
Do they?
big work boats.
Do they
No.
even know what they're talking about? I mean, have
No.
they ever boarded any of the boats you're describing here? Have they ever been on one of these boats? Do they
Do they have
understand
an
how it's...
expert at CARB that advises
Great.
them, that knows your business?
Great question. And throughout this rulemaking, and I'm in touch with every one of these landings, marinas, vessel owners up and down the coast. We have yet to see a representative from CARB do a full analysis of any one of these businesses. Remember, these are all independently owned and operated businesses. No one has come down to try and understand truly the financial model, the demographic that rides our vessels, what that impact will mean to the company, what the impact will mean to the user group. It's really, really incredible. And I want to throw another point out. Our group within this subset, the CPFVs, the commercial passenger fishing vessels, have been more proactive in the last 25 years in reducing emissions by repowering our vessels. Many of our vessels out there today have the cleanest marine engine on the market available, or they're getting ready to repower with that. Most of them using clean air attainment grants through the state of California. Far more than many of the other user groups that are being impacted by this CHC rule.
There's another paragraph in here that CARB's regulations would require engines to be modified with technology that has not been developed yet. We discussed that. But the modifications, when they come, would be too massive to fit an existing engine room. So even if they manufacture, I guess these this new equipment, it wouldn't fit anyway in the boats, and
Correct.
it would significantly impact the vessel's stability. So it would cause the boats to tip over, sink.
Well, you have to understand, these are inspected vessels, so all of these vessels are designed by a naval architect. They're approved and inspected by the United States Coast Guard in order to carry passengers for hire. Stability is a big part of that. So the equipment that they're requiring us to put on board, first of all, an engine that is Tier 4, that's the highest rated or the least emitting diesel right now on the market, doesn't exist for our size. What they have said and are proposing is that we take a Tier 3 motor, which is on the market and readily available, and put that exhaust after treatment on there. Now, that exhaust after treatment that they're requesting that we put on is big, it's bulky, it hasn't been approved for the marine market, it hasn't been certified for the marine market, and it has a high heat element, which poses a huge safety risk for our passengers when you're on board a boat out at sea. I don't know if you've ever seen a semi-fire on the side of the road, but an important part of this discussion, when you see semis parked on the side of the road, typically it's not necessarily the driver is sleeping. That rig is parked on the side of the road while it goes through what's called a regeneration cycle. That's some of that big exhaust after treatment that's cooking off soot, if you will, in what's called a diesel particulate filter. Now, truck fires do happen, and they happen with more frequency than we know and with more frequency than CARB would like to discuss. Now, you put a piece of equipment like that on board a boat, park it 100 miles offshore with 30 passengers on board, we've got a real situation.
All right, Frank, we appreciate you talking to us. I understand people can go to savefishing.com for more on this.
I want to really make sure that's important. SaveFishing.com is the website that we've set up. It's got all the information that you need to get you caught up to speed on this situation. I like to particularly point folks to the Take Action tab. There's a way that you can reach out and let your voice be heard. You can click on that. You can click on a link that'll take you right to Leanne Randolph. She's the chair of the California Air Resource Board. Let her know. We need to pump the brakes on this. We need to hold off and sit down and look at what is reasonable and what is right and help this technology evolve and not just crush an industry in its wake.
All right, Frank Orsini, thanks for joining us.
SaveFishing.com. Thanks, guys.
All right, CARB, again, destroying possibly another business. More coming up. John and Ken Deborah. Mark is off today, and Mark Ronner has the news.
Merck will seek regulatory approval for a new pill that can provide an easier, effective way to treat COVID-19, which reduces hospitalizations and deaths by half in people recently infected. A top U.S. official has apologized for how Haitian migrants were treated along the U.S.-Mexico border, saying it's not how border officials or the Department of Homeland Security behave. And the Biden administration urged a federal judge to block the nation's most restrictive abortion law, which has banned most abortions in Texas since early September. Got some trouble on Saluka Lake on the 134. We'll tell you about it next.
Are your teeth all rotted and decayed? Maybe it's your upper teeth or your lower teeth or all the teeth. Cunning Dental will give you a new set of permanent teeth, a complete set in one day. They're zirconia teeth. They look completely natural. They feel like real teeth, but they're stronger and more resistant to cracking, chipping, and staining. You will bite and chew just like you used to. You're going to smile in photos again. You're going to have more confidence when you speak. You're no longer going to be hiding all your rotted teeth. Attend a free seminar Saturday the 9th in Irvine. You'll meet real patients who've undergone this procedure. And you can get $1,500 off. This offer expires November 30th. They have a no money down payment plan, unapproved credit, and use your dental insurance by the end of the year or you'll lose it. Call 888-640-SMILE, Cunning Dental, 888-640-SMILE, 888-640-SMILE.
San Diego comes alive on the waterfront at Sheraton San Diego Hotel and Marina, an island escape close to the excitement of downtown San Diego. Now save up to 25% off your vacation. Visit SheratonSanDiegoHotel.com and book with code D3Q.
Highs around 70 at the beaches today, 91 in Metro LA and OC. This report brought to you by Sheraton San Diego Hotel and Marina on Harbor Island. Now let's check out a crash on the 134 in Saluka Lake.
There's some good news here on the westbound side. Coming up on the 170, that is where the track has been cleared out of lanes. The lane's still picking up, getting away from Alameda. Mike O'Brien is taking a look at Diamond Bar, KFI in the Sky, sponsored by injury attorney, superwomansuperlawyer.com.
Yeah, a bit of a mess there on the 57 northbound, and it looks like you're going to hit the brakes there just about Tonner County. So just out of Orange County, they did clear up a little problem at Pathfinder, but it's just going to remain heavy up to the verge with the 60. Now I'm looking at a couple of homeless encampment fires starting to break out in the Whittier Narrows area. Looks like one on the north side of the freeway, one on the south. The one on the south does have a closure here. Looks like San Gabriel Boulevard. It's going to load up here just a little past the 60 interchange, so you can't get through all the way. They're working a little fire there, and another one north of the freeway alongside the golf course in the San Gabriel River wash there.
Injured in an accident? Visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky.
The Cajon Pass, huge mess already. 15 northbound stacked from Glen Helen Parkway to the 138. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. For big tire deals, everyone knows it's Big O Tires. Right now, save big, up to $150 on select sets of Ford tires with paid installation using your Big O Tires card. Get the Ford tires you need, save up to $150, only for a limited time. For the store nearest you, visit BigOTires.com.
Have you been denied a home loan or refinance because you're self-employed, earn 1099 income, or even a real estate investor? You're missing out. Most lenders make approval seem impossible, especially if you're self-employed. Stop watching everyone take advantage of the lowest mortgage rates in history while you're stuck on the sidelines. Accelerate Capital, the premier lender designed for the self-employed. Our approval process is based on common sense, using bank statements, 1099 income, profit loss statements, rental income, or even stated income to qualify at the lowest rates available. Fast. Conventional lenders cannot do this. When others say no, we say yes. Call 800-811-9702, 800-811-9702, or visit acceleratecapital.com.
EXCELE, acceleratecapital.com.
Equal housing lender. Call for details. NMLS ID number 1165716. Not all will qualify. California DFCI license number 41DDO45150. Additional restrictions may apply. Loans made or arranged pursuant to the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Have you still not gone solar? Let me help clear up some misconceptions. Solar doesn't cost you money. It saves you money. And it doesn't matter where your panels are made. It matters who makes them. And those $29.95 solar specials, they're not what's going to end up on your home. Sunlux left all of that behind to build a company that does solar better. Time for solar. It's time for Sunlux. Get started today at sunlux.com. That's sunlux.com. CSLB 1008374.
As life returns to normal, our worries have not disappeared, but evolved. CalHope offers free COVID-19 emotional support. Call 1-833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today. At MGM Resorts, we know this is no time to return to normal. It's time to for the time of your life in Vegas at MGM Resorts.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years.
He was in big trouble.
We're going to take your house, garnish your pay.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm, and rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau.
I don't owe the IRS anymore. It was because of Optima Tax.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief. For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're tired of your car. You want something new, and you want it now. No problem. Roto has your back. That's RODO. Sell your old car and get into a new one right from the comfort of your couch. Use the Roto app to browse thousands of vehicles from local dealers for the best deal on the wheels you really want. Roto, the fastest, easiest way to buy or sell a car. Download the Roto app now or check out roto.com. That's RODO.com.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contract. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save.
Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
24-hour news. More stimulating talk.
John and Ken Show. John Cobell and Ken Shampoo, KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You know, the two things that a lot of the media that covers California refuses to accept are the people leaving the state. And again, the evidence of that is clear. We lost a congressional seat. That's never happened before. The other thing is companies leaving the state and companies being driven out of business. We were just talking to a representative of sports fishing, whale watching. It may not seem like much, but apparently millions enjoy these activities, tourists and residents alike in California. Every year, and the California Air Resources Board is coming down on them with new emissions requirements, which may be difficult to meet for many in the business unless they want change.
They have a deadline to install technology that doesn't exist and wouldn't fit on the boat.
It's absurd. So, to point this out, I'm looking once again, and I feel like I just saw this last week, and I did, because there's another report out again on the California pace of unemployment claims. You know, you hear Gruesome talking about the big comeback here. It ain't happening.
No, he's lying.
Do you know California last week accounted for 30% of all jobless claims in the U.S.? And you may say, well, California's a big state. Well, we're about 12% of the nationwide labor force.
Right.
How out of proportion is that?
So we're
30% of the jobless claims.
We have 2.5 times the jobless claims that we should have.
They're explaining that some of the increase in claims is tied into this move that people are making, the Employment Development Department, those people, where they're able to still tap into a little extra money. As you know, the federal government cut off the extra $300 a week on September 4th. There's some other company that allowed benefit payment to continue for another week, but that's over. The big jump in unemployment claims might be tied to a more fundamental weakness in the California economy. You think so? Do you think so? When you're the state that comes down the hardest with all of your COVID-19 mandates and requirements, and to begin with, as we just experienced talking about the California Air Resources Board, has been the most business unfriendly. What do you think's going to happen when these things come together? I mean, we've talked about this number before.
But progressive black jobs don't care about business and capitalism. They're trying to undermine it. They're trying to ruin it. They're trying to make the government
That's why the $3.5 trillion welfare bill is...
Right. Because when the government is the primary source of people's wealth, then you have a public that's entirely dependent on the people currently in power. That is what they want to do. Because then they have the power over your lives. They're the lifeline. They're your income stream.
Yeah, you're dependent on them.
And people are going for it. Do you know what one of the biggest, most devoted, loyal Democratic demographic group is? Young single women. Why is that? They're not married. They've done research on this. They are more sensitive to economic trends. They feel like they're the first to go under because they don't have two incomes in their household. Single men don't feel that way generally. They don't feel insecure. But young single women, and there are now more of those than ever before because people are getting married later, much later, or not at all.
Right.
And so the government to them replaces the husband, replaces the man in their life. And so Gavin Newsom is now the caretaker of the family. Or Joe Biden is the caretaker of the family. They've done some extensive research on this. This is no joke. And as young single women go, so go the Democrats. So go elections. And so it's really appealing to some people to have a welfare state because you know you're going to be taken care of. Married women, much less likely to vote Democratic.
Well, you know, the state lost 2.71 million jobs during the pandemic. Think about that. They've recovered almost 2/3 of them, but it looks like we're not getting past that. for now. There's another 1 million jobs. Well, California has to gain another 1 million jobs to recover the positions lost during the pandemic. Because when you do mask mandates, you have vaccine mandates, you're running scary stories every day about the pandemic. People don't want to go to stores. They don't want to go to restaurants. They don't want to go to work. Part of the reason that people aren't showing up for the 10 million job openings is they're afraid of catching COVID, even if they're vaccinated. Well, speaking of jobs, when we come back, we're going to talk about this survey. It was taken of people in the U.S. but other countries too. 40% of employees surveyed are ready to quit their jobs in the next 3 to 6 months. They responded they're somewhat likely to do that, even if they don't have a job waiting. And where do you find out the reasons? Coming up next. Johnny Kent, KFI, Mark Bronner has the news.
California has become the first state to require COVID-19 vaccines for students who want to learn on campus. Governor Newsom says the requirement will start the semester that follows full FDA approval of the vaccine for kids-specific grade plans.
Are there exemptions? Yes, well-established exemptions for medical reasons, personal and or religious beliefs.
The requirements apply to all students at public and private elementary and high schools. The Supreme Court has denied a request to block a COVID-19 vaccine mandate that's gone into effect for teachers and public school staff in New York. ABC's Aaron Katursky says a group of teachers has asked the High Court for an emergency injunction to stop the mandate from going into effect today.
Without explanation or comment, Justice Sonia Sotomayor denied a request for an emergency injunction from a handful of New York City teachers who were seeking to block the vaccine mandate. Teachers and all other public school employees had to show proof of at least one shot by close of business, or they would be put on leave without pay. If they get a shot this weekend, they can still show up to work Monday morning. The 90% of employees are already vaccinated, and the Department of Education said it shows vaccine mandates work. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
The New York Department of Education says 90% of employees have already received at least their first shot. A deer has hurt an animal control officer in Simi Valley. The officer was trying to get the deer out of someone's backyard Wednesday night. The deer gored the officer in the leg. State Fish and Wildlife officials recommended gates to yards be left open so deer can get back to open spaces on their own. A doctor who teaches at UC Irvine has lost his lawsuit against the University of California over its COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Dr. Aaron Cariotti argued the mandate discriminates against people who have natural immunity. A judge in Santa Ana ruled the university system acted rationally to protect public health. Cariotti says he plans to keep fighting. A union representing many people who work behind the scenes in show business could soon be going on strike.
Members of the International Association of Theatrical Stage Employees will vote through Sunday to give their international president the say-so to call a strike. The potential strike would pull around 52,000 workers off the jobs and could potentially shut down many Hollywood productions. The union says the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers has started to work with it to address issues including what it calls unsafe and harmful working hours and unlivable wages for the lowest paid workers. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
Panama's foreign minister says nearly 60,000 more Haitians are headed to the U.S. southern border. She says her country sounded the alarm before about the roughly 15,000 mostly Haitian migrants who crossed into Del Rio, Texas last month. She also expressed frustration with the U.S. government's response. A childhood play place of Winnie the Pooh's Christopher Robin is going up for auction in England. Author A.A. Milne took his son to the countryside bridge in 1920, around the time Milne released his series of books. The worn-out bridge was taken down in 1999, stored, and recently restored. Summer Place Auction says it hopes the bridge sells for way beyond the estimated $60,000 to $80,000. The auction is Tuesday. Now let's check out a crash near my neighborhood in North Hills. Please tell me it's okay.
It is okay now, but for a bit on the 405 northbound, coming up on Nordoff, a big rig and a car got into it. They were blocking the two right lanes. They've been cleared off to the shoulder, but look at those delays. You're backing up all the way out of Inglewood. Just like adding to a slow drive. It didn't cause these delays with backup from Florence. It's a huge mess. And we've got Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky, sponsored by Injury Attorney, Superwoman, superlawyer.com.
Yeah, we've got problems heading into Rose Hills and here on the 605. 605 southbound, just past the 60, just about Tech Road. Off to the right shoulder just in the last few minutes, so it's still suffering. back through the 10, and almost from Ramona. Now, the good news is, up ahead, it's actually been wide open through Whittier down towards the 5. A lot of that is going to shift down there, though. Now, the northbound side of the 605, you're loading up there for the 105, and it looks like the worst of that up the Tech Road where that other wreck is clearing on the southbound side. The 60 eastbound, a little extra tight today. We've got almost campus fires burning on both sides of the 60 in the Whittier Narrows area. Right along the Rio Hondo River there is a popular spot for the homeless camping. It's getting a lot of smoke on the one north of the freeway, and a lot of folks are looking at it. The 60 eastbound pretty well tied up with East LA interchange. Injured in an accident? Visit Superwoman, superlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the sky.
Xperia 15 southbound loads up at Ranchero Road all the way to Cleghorn. Northbound delays Sierra to the 138. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at OPO Law. And if you think all personal injury attorneys are alike, you'd be surprised. All law firms are not the same. OPO Law has a 98% success rate on over 10,000 cases we have handled. And while insurance companies continue to make lowball offers, we fight hard to get you the money you deserve. Fierce pursuit to win for you is our specialty. We don't settle your case for what the insurance company thinks it's worth. We settle your case for what we believe it's worth. For over 4 decades, we have gone to battle with the insurance companies and have obtained over $1 billion for injury victims. If you have been injured in an accident, dial pound 250, use keyword personal injury to connect to OPO Law. Remember, you don't pay until we win your case.
OPO Law, the law firm insurance companies fear most.
I'm Susan Owen, and I would be honored to handle your case.
When you dial pound 250, you'll have the option of receiving an auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Southland weather from KFI. High today around 80 at the beaches, 91 in Metro LA and OC. Upper 80s and 90s in the valleys, mid to high 90s in the IE and the AZ. We're looking at more sun tomorrow, mid to upper 70s at the beaches, 91 again for Metro LA and OC, looking like that throughout the weekend, too. Low to mid 90s in the valleys, the IE and the AZ. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Mark Ronner.
That's why to the cat. Pick up it's quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction. Donate your car today.
Also accepting real estate donations.
For COVID testing that is convenient and fast, choose COVID Clinic. COVID Clinic has multiple locations in SoCal to serve you, and they offer rapid tests with results available within 1 hour that can detect the Delta variant. No cost to patient testing also available. Even if you've been vaccinated, you can still contract COVID. It's important to get tested to protect yourself and your friends during the holidays and winter months. Visit covidclinic.org to book your test now. That's covidclinic.org.
Simon Line, GVWR True Mortgage is a fair housing lender. NMLS 1626699. The following example is a 30-year term at 2.625% on a loan amount of $300,000 with a 50% LTV. Primary residence only and with a 745 score.
Rates are at all-time lows, but you hear a lot of conflicting information about what that means to you exactly.
The team at True Mortgage wants to show you how affordable a true loan can actually be and how much it might cost you each month.
If you've got a $300,000 loan and you're paying a dime more than $1,250 a month, you must call True Mortgage now at 833-66-FASTER or go to TrueNow.com to see what they can do to make your monthly payment more affordable.
$1,250 per month on a $300,000 loan. It's true, and they can help you get into a super affordable monthly payment and help you immediately.
Have a $400,000 loan, merely add another $400 per month, and so on. It is simple math and an even easier payment, but as Chairman Powell said, rates will go up, so call today.
True Mortgage, 833-66-FASTER or TrueNow.com. That's 833-66-FASTER or dial pound 250 and use the keyword True Mortgage. For official rules and more information about contests on this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules.
Live and local.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
John and Ken Show. John Cobelt and Ken Shampoo. It's KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeart Radio app. And there may be hope to fight the bills that were passed and signed
by Governor Newsom, what we call the war on single-family housing. I mean, this has come to shock to some Californians. So they find out one day their neighbor sold their home, and up is going like a four-home duplex living house next door. So we'll talk about this after 4 o'clock, because the folks who have been fighting this in Livermore, California, have an attorney who's advising them. We're familiar with Stuart Glassman. He'll be on after 4, that they may be able to file a lawsuit to fight back against these bills and the war on single-family housing. Survey